Now, on your breakfast table, Donkey Kong brand cereal.
Crunchy berries of fun for breakfast. Donkey Kong cereal.
The sweet, crunchy corn taste will drive you ape.
You love the crunch. Donkey Kong cereal. Crunchy berries of fun for breakfast.
It's part of his complete breakfast.
Donkey Kong cereal. You love the crunch.
That cereal is apparently barrels of fun. I freaking love the crap out of that commercial. It's so weird. It's got to be one of the more weirder ones that I've found. More weirder? I don't know. But hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Video Games and Tea, episode number 8 for July 12th, 2017. I'm Justin. Sorry I wasn't able to make it yesterday, but I felt like absolute poop. I continue to feel like poop today. Just not feeling 100%. I have a feeling I got the con crud. What's going on, Osapeta? And hello, Yuckier Daisy 746. I can't even understand this. How you keep getting the name, or how you got the name Yuckier Daisy in the first place. It just baffles me that Mixer, that Xbox, that Microsoft would choose Yuckier Daisy 746 for you. I just do not understand that at all. Like, what algorithm is out there where it's like, all right, we got a Daisy over here, but it's a Yucky Daisy, and we're going to throw in 746. At least they could have put 747, so that's at least like a plane, right? Yeah, I just don't understand that at all. Like, what bunches together to compute and spit out Yuckier Daisy 746. It's so weird, so weird. But life is weird sometimes. Life is very strange. We all live in it. We all know that it's pretty strange from time to time. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm opposed to it by now. Yuckier Daisy. I've started to warm up to the idea of you being Yuckier Daisy instead of Ditzy DJ anymore. So maybe you should go with it. Maybe you should change everything. Maybe you should change your social media handles. You should change just everything. Just be Yuckier Daisy from now on. I feel like that could be like a new cool persona for you as well. Like you could be. I think I've gone for long enough with our podcasts and our videos. I'm kind of the heel of the two of us, I didn't ask to be the heel, but I think I've basically become the heel of our podcast. But if you became Yuckier Daisy and just shit on everything that we talked about, like you're like, oh yeah, The Last of Us 2, that game blows, the stupidest game of all time. It's the terrible, no good, horrible game because I'm Yuckier Daisy and I just yuck all over everything. It could be fun. It could be a good reversal of our roles, and then maybe I could change mine to from zero cool. I don't know what I would change it to. So yeah, you could be I think you could play a good biatch. I think you could. I've seen it from time to time when you've unleashed it on people that have said ill things towards me. So I could totally see that. I most definitely could see that. Yeah, exactly. Yuckier Daisy is the troll. You're right, Osapeta. Yuckier Daisy is the troll. I think I love it. I think I may have to. I mean, actually, I don't know if I need to change the image over here. I don't know if I need to change that. I mean, maybe I could put like a troll like hat on you or something, and you could be the official troll of Video Games and Tea. At least until you come on to the show. I mean that. Nobody knows this because these are plans behind the scenes, but Video Games and Tea is meant to become the Old Ass Casuals morning show. It's just, when it's just me and it's just the morning show with just myself, I just felt like I should give it a different name, but hopefully one day it will transform and revolutionize, right? Revolutionize? Or maybe evolve into the Old Ass Casuals morning show. And speaking of tea, I've got my tea. I've got it in the Rapture cup. Which, speaking of BioShock, the collection, the remastered collection, which I don't know how remastered they really are. But you know, I think they got a nice shinier paint of coat on them. They're $20 right now on Amazon Prime. Yeah, so go pick it up. 19.99. You can visit Rapture as well. You can go hang out with Comstock, all those folks. Hang out with some big daddies. I need to go back and revisit Rapture. It's been a long time, especially when my teacup is from BioShock. I mean, come on. I think I do need some whiskey in that tea because I'm like, oh, still feeling like crap today. That's for sure. Uh, don't feel bad, Osipeda, that you still have it sitting in your box because I have plenty of games down there sitting in their cellophane wrapper still. I'm trying to look right now. Do I have any right now? Yep, there's one that my mom got me, and it's not because I didn't want to play it. I really do, but it's a VR game, and I'm too damn lazy to set up my VR. But I've wanted to check this game out forever. It's the Journey, the Robinson the Journey. I have wanted to check that game out for quite some time. Haven't yet, but it looks like it would be a whole lot of fun. I mean, you're exploring this virtual reality world, and you're in space and stuff. I feel like you're in space, but you're on another planet, right? I don't know. You do. You buy a game, you play them, and have you never ever played BioShock, Osipeda? Because I agree with old Yucky, even though she's not supposed to say nice things about things. But I agree with her. It is so much fun. Yeah. BioShock is one of my favorite series of all time. Ken Levine, I think he did a masterful job with BioShock 1. It was just glorious. I thought the story that he told with BioShock 1 was fantastic. I happen to like BioShock Infinite. Ken Levine came back for that one, I do believe, and I really enjoyed my time with BioShock Infinite. Yes, it was not as good as BioShock 1, but I think it's just because maybe it went on a little bit too long. Some of the battles were a little bit annoying because it just seemed like they were just never ending sometimes. It's like, all right, I killed this group of NPC bad people, and then all of a sudden a whole big-ass group of other ones like kept coming and coming. But the story was really cool. I love the girl in it. I cannot remember the girl. BioShock sucks. Exactly. I hate video games. That's where that's what you should do. So, what was the name of the girl in BioShock Infinite? BioShock Infinite. I feel like it was like Claire or something like that. I mean, I see Elizabeth. Maybe it was Elizabeth. I feel like Elizabeth. That sounds right because I've seen so many cosplays of her. Yeah, you control Booker DeWitt. Yes, eventually working with AI controlled Elizabeth. Yep. I do remember the hard time you had finishing that last one. That was for sure. You struggled mightily with BioShock Infinite towards the end. So, and I. Oh, see, that sucks, Osipeda. I totally understand the difficult time with capture cards and OBS. It's so annoying. I've got a freaking Windows update that's coming, and I'm like, please, God, why do you have to update my Windows? No! I just don't want to do it because every time you update Windows, it just destroys all of your settings. It destroys everything. Windows is the devil sometimes. Windows is a blessing and a curse at the same time. Like, I like a lot of things about Windows. Obviously, like when I had had employment and I worked with Microsoft, I love Office. It's the best. That fucking Apple shit, oof, hot garbage. Apple, you might make good products that I love, like my iPhone and my iPads, but damn, your email is the worst. It is straight poop garbage. Poop garbage is what Apple email is. But I do love other Microsoft products. But yeah, my Windows update's probably going to crash everything. Hopefully, everything sucks, Yucky or Daisy. I agree. Everything sucks. I can't run OBS with Elgato. Well, throughout the stream, Like, yeah, tell me what your problem is. Maybe I can help. Because I mean, I had a lot of issues running OBS with Elgato at first. There was some weird, funky things, and like it intermittently just goes out. All of a sudden, it will work one day. Next day, I turn my computer on, and it's not registering. So if you're getting that screen with your Elgato, like where it says like device not found, let me think on it, because I remember I had to fix that. Like I kept getting a device not found, and it was just like, so it wouldn't pull up any of my game capture. But I fixed it. I'm just trying to remember how I fixed it. I know for sure I went to the Googles and the YouTubes and like, typed in a search for Elgato device not found, and I think I'm pretty sure I found a video where it helped me out with fixing that. But that is a common occurrence that I've had with the Elgato, is where, yeah, it's just not registering my PlayStation or my Xbox. Typically my PlayStation. That's usually the one that, for whatever reason, it has more difficulty registering the PlayStation than the Xbox. The Xbox I've never had problems with. The one thing, love you for that, Xbox One. You're sturdy and you're steady with Elgato. You don't go wrong a lot of times. So, it's the memory goes over 92%, which shuts down everything. And it did not do that. If it didn't do that before, do you have a PC, and did you just recently go through the Windows update? Because I have read that the new Windows update is causing problems with that, and where it's like taking a lot of your computer's bandwidth, CPU, memory, everything. As you can tell, I'm not a computer wizard. Probably just said the same thing, but just in different terms. But I have heard that the new Windows update is causing some of that, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm like, just don't update Windows. I mean, the shit. Who even cares about Windows updates? You get Windows on your computer, it works. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. So you may have to uninstall. If you did go through the Windows update, you may have to go back and uninstall it. So that may be your issue. Man, my coffee, or my coffee, gross. Coffee's disgusting. Yeah, if you did do the update, look into it. I rescheduled mine for Monday. I keep hitting like reschedule. Basically, every time it came up, I just put like, remind me later, remind me later, remind me later. And eventually, of course, the Windows gods out there told me, no, I will not remind you later. You're going to do this shit now. And so I had to schedule it. I scheduled it for Monday, and I'm just like praying that it works, because I have a feeling it's not going to, and then I'll have to go through all the hassle of fixing everything again, because we've been pretty good. The streams have been working nicely. No, we haven't been dropping frames. I'm only at 10% CPU usage right now. It's been glorious. I'm 30 frames per second. Holy crap. That's amazing. If we go back into the annals of time, whenever we used to try to do live streaming with some of our other stuff, man, it was rough. It was rough days back in the day. So yeah, definitely check on that update. And so I'm not feeling great, but I wanted to, discuss some things today. I'm gonna try to keep the show relatively shorter than normal, but I typically have diarrhea of the mouth, so I just talk about anything and everything. Oh yeah, by the way, before we get into the show, yeah, I usually run my streams, game streams, I think in 720. So that way, yeah, it doesn't take up as much of my I guess my CPU processing power. So I do downscale quite a few of our things. I mean, I don't try to stream in 1080. I think my computer can handle it, but I've always felt that it's better for me personally, because I would rather just a smooth frame rate the entire time. I hate when it gets choppy in streams and stuff. So I usually do downscale it, like so yeah, 480, that kind of stuff. So I don't mind it. I can't even tell the difference. I mean, Jesus, 720 to 1080 to 4K. I wish I could tell you the difference. I just really can't. I know when some games look beautiful, and I know when some games look like poo, but I have no clue if that's the difference between 480, 720, and then 1080 to 4K. I'm not really sure. So, never been able to figure that out. And you're welcome for I guess the help, Osapeda. I try. But yeah, so I did want to get into a few things. The first things first, I wanted to get into. I'm gonna keep it spoiler free as possible, and I don't know if anybody's watched the new Castlevania series, but I just finished it up early this morning. It's Castlevania on Netflix. It's only 4 episodes, but it is the best video game adaptation to a TV show, to an animated cartoon, I guess if you will, an anime, or a movie that I've ever seen. And by saying that, I don't know if it's like the most faithful recreation, faithful, faithful adaptation, I guess, of the video game series to another form of media. I don't know about that. I haven't played a Castlevania game in a long ass time. I think Super Castlevania 4 was the last Castlevania game I played, and that was for the SNES. And I know that in the Castlevania series, you're playing typically as Richard Belmont, and sometimes I guess you play as Dracula, sometimes you play as Alucard, but in this one, in the Castlevania series, the main character is Trevor Belmont. I've heard that this story is a loose adaptation of Castlevania 3. I'm not sure. I don't remember Castlevania 3. I'm not even sure if I played Castlevania 3 back in the day. But I will say that this show is amazing. It's written by Warren Ellis, and his name was familiar for me because when I go in comic book shops, I always see him on different comic books that I've read or wanted to read. I think Trees is one that he's done recently that I've heard is really, really good. I think I even have like the first couple of issues of Trees because I used to have a bad habit of every time I'd go in the comic book shop, if there's a new Image comic with the #1 issue, or like Dark Horse or any of like those indie comic publishers, I'd always scoop them up. I'm like, these are gonna be worth money. They're gonna be worth lots of money. So I'm pretty sure I scooped Trees up at some point. But he's also responsible for, in my opinion, one of the best video games of all time, the story for it, and that is Dead Space. Yeah, this dude knows what he's doing with video games, with stories, with horror elements, because that's something. I don't remember Castlevania being all that scary when I was a kid. It's a 2D side-scrolling action adventure game with RPG elements in some of them heavier than others. I think Symphony of the Night had like a lot of RPG elements to it, more so than the rest of them. And a lot of the times they were very linear games, but Symphony of the Night and I think Castlevania 2, correct me if I'm wrong, went in a more non-linear path, and you could kind of explore a little bit more, which was cool. But I don't remember them being very scary. And that's not to say that this Castlevania series is all that scary, but it's bloody as hell. Like buckets of blood just everywhere. There was one scene, I'm not going to spoil what happened in the scene as my chair scoots away. It's like, I'm not trying to spoil what happens in the scene, but I'm flying away. I won't spoil what happens in the scene, but it was bloody, and it was just falling everywhere. It was pretty gross. So Yuckier, I want to show you guys, like, if you haven't seen it, let's go to YouTube real quick, because I don't think I ever actually watched the trailer for Castlevania back in the day. Castlevania, oh, there it is. Castlevania Netflix trailer. Boom. Teaser, Vengeance. Yeah, let's go to the Netflix official one. All right. Let's go over here. Let's change up the scenes here. And I'll turn Spotify off for just a second. I know we were jamming out there. If you could hear it, it's very faint, but it was nice. I was personally jamming out. So All right. So if you've never seen anything about Castlevania's Netflix, here's a little teaser trailer that we will watch together, and then I'll wrap up my conversation about the first season. Look at that. Look at that glorious NES. I do remember this commercial. I thought this was a very well done commercial that I was like, what? This is crazy. Yeah, with House of Cards on there, Stranger Things, Narcos. Yeah, I love the intro to this. This was fantastic.
There is a darkness upon the land. A savior is needed.
Who are you?
Bam! See that beautiful blood?
The man who'll kill Dracula.
The man who will kill Dracula. I will kill him. I will kill him dead. Dead. Yeah, I mean, it's, if you know, that was a really quick trailer, but damn, that gave you a really good sense of kind of how epic these 4 episodes of Castlevania were, at least to me. There was a particular shot that I wanted to discuss really quickly of where the city's kind of like ensnared in all of the demons and everything, and it just kind of like it panned out, and it looked exactly like the castle from that Ganon has taken over in Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I was like, oh, it's a beautiful shot. I tried to snap a freaking picture of it as I was watching Netflix on my phone. Of course, Netflix, with some algorithm, computer geniuses they have, the only thing that showed up was my subtitles. I'm like, damn you, Netflix. Why can't I take snapshots of your TV shows when you have badass scenes in them? It kills me. What's going on, Andrew? How's your day going? How's your day going? It's not your morning for you. Morning for me still. But yeah, that shot was beautiful. I thought it was so cool, and I was like, well, the game came out obviously way after they would have created the TV show and everything. But I thought it was interesting to see like that shot, and then the shot from Ganon when I guess it's Ganon. I haven't made it that far. I don't know what Ganon looks like, but he's like circling the castle, the Hyrule Castle, and everything, and it was pretty freaking awesome. But just to get back to the show and to end the Castlevania discussion, it was fantastic. The characters are amazing. Richard Armitage, he plays Trevor Belmont, and I thought that he played the character perfectly. His voice acting for the character was great. I love what they do with Trevor Belmont's character, and I can't wait to see more of Trevor Belmont. I really, really liked that character. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he fit Richard Armitage's voice acting. I thought he fit perfectly for for Trevor Belmont. I like the fact that they made Dracula out to be somebody that you could sympathize with, as opposed to just absolutely hating Dracula. You can totally understand why he would do the things that he would do in these 4 episodes, which I thought was great. The person that voice acted Dracula, thought he was fantastic as well. Sypha, she was in the show. I'm not going to spoil. Well, I don't know if that's a spoiler. Yeah. So Sypha's amazing. She plays a speaker. I'm not going to tell you anything else about her, but she plays a speaker in the Castlevania show. And she was badass and lovely at the same time. I don't know about the rest of everybody else out there, but I immediately got a crush on her. Immediately. I was like, Sypha, I love you. I love you, Sypha. Because her character is so cool in the show, and yeah, she's beautiful. But yeah, I really love Sypha. her exchanges with Trevor were amazing. They were so fun to watch those two play off one another in these 4 episodes. I thought was great. Alucard, James Callis voiced Alucard. Perfect job. Perfect. I really love that. And the Bishop of Greshet was evil as shit. Super duper evil. Fantastic job by the Bishop of Greshet. I don't know who did the voice acting for that. So yeah, overall, like, the show was amazing. It was so good. And again, I think one of the best video game adaptations that we've seen. It was so good. The only problem was it was 4 episodes. 4 episodes. Yes, the fight scenes were amazing. Some of the coolest and most badass fight scenes. The visuals were amazing for these fight scenes. I mean, they had to have gone to painstaking detail to draw these fight scenes out. I don't know how they did them. I haven't looked into all that. Like if it was like, that they actually drew everything out, or if they did like, computer renderings. I'm not sure. I have no clue on that. But it looked beautiful all the same. It was amazing stuff. I just really hate the fact there was only 4 episodes. I mean, it felt like by the end of the 4 episodes, we were just getting in to like the good stuff. Like, it was just about to pop off, and then it just ended, and I was like, dang it, it sucked. So yeah, they did confirm a season 2, and it will have 8 episodes, so I'm excited about that. So yeah, overall, Castlevania was fantastic. Super good. Really loved the crap out of it. And I wanted to share something that I thought was really cute and cuddly that I saw on Twitter about Castlevania really fast. When a friend accidentally texts Taco Belmont in a comment about the Netflix Castlevania show, what have I done? I thought this was super cute, and I want these to be stickers. Taco Belmont, Alucado, Salsa Belnades. Yeah, I love this. I wanted to share that with you guys because if you have seen the show, this is awesome. I thought this was fantastic. All right, so we're moving on to the next news story. Let me find everything here. I am glad that they got to. I just hate that season 2 is coming. It's going to be a long time. Yeah, these are super adorable. It comes a year from now, so we're going to have to wait a year to get what happens next. So the next news story up is from yesterday. Some more Destiny 2 news dropped. IGN, they continued their month of firsts, and they dropped a video, Destiny 2 creating the story of a lightless world, where they've got senior narrative lead Jason Harris and cinematic lead Matthew Ward. They came to IGN to tell them about how they created the story of Gaul, I think it's Gaul, and our Guardians in Destiny 2. I haven't seen this trailer yet, but of course it's Destiny 2, and I'm super jazzed about it, and I can't wait to have the game come out. So I figured we'd watch together, see what's happening with the story. And then there's an interesting article that I wanted to share with you guys afterwards about the story in Destiny 2. So let me just pause this real quick. All right. So let's get into this trailer. Yeah, Gaul's that big-ass Thanos looking dude, right? I have a feeling... See, there's a video about him, and it's like all about Gaul and everything, and I don't want to watch that one. I want that to be a surprise for me whenever I get to Destiny 2. I've seen him. Looks scary as hell. I kind of want him to be a little bit more in the backdrop. I don't want him to be this big, over-the-top, boisterous villain. I kind of want him to just be this scary, menacing villain that kind of... We don't hear a lot from him, like the Mountain from Game of Thrones. You know, the Mountain from Game of Thrones is feared far and wide, one of the most evil men alive, but he doesn't speak, you know? Doesn't speak a lot. And that's what I love about that. What's going on, Hydra? How are you doing today? And so I'm hoping that Gaul is kind of more along those lines as opposed to, like, you know, some of those over-the-top comic booky villains where they just, like, they talk themselves out of killing the superhero. You know, that's the number one thing. If you keep on talking, the superhero is going to eventually get away, and hopefully Gaul is not like that. So let's check this trailer out. Creating the story of a lightless world, Destiny 2 news from IGN. I cannot wait.
Destiny 1 had a heartbeat. It was a nice, methodical rhythm that just kind of underpinned the entire experience.
Steady.
It was steady.
Reliable.
It
reliable.
supported the world. Destiny 2, this is like the heartbeat of someone who's over at Orange Theory Fitness. Boom, boom, boom. It's like a machine gun. Without
Or at
the
a
light,
rave.
am I a guardian at all anymore? What does it mean
Dude,
to be
what-
chosen? You know, what does it mean to be special in this world? What does it mean to have a higher
that
power,
guardian
a higher
looked
authority
messed up.
choose you to go onto a golden path to accomplish some, you know, earth-shattering, universe-shattering, system-shattering goals?
You've merely forgotten the fear of death.
Getting a dark.
Allow
Ooh.
me to reacquaint you.
It's a great chance for us to level the playing field in a way, and to where
That dude's
loss is felt
evil.
by everybody. But again, everyone's point of view might be different. Civilians might be looking at this a different way than a Guardian might be looking at it. It's a little bit different for a Superman to lose his powers and then all of a sudden become Clark Kent permanently and have to live within that society. And then how does that society work with each other to overcome?
God, I
Your
love
light,
the world they're
your
building.
guns, your armor. There's something more to being a guardian than just all the tchotchkes that we're covered with and the weapons that we're carrying.
We get to see characters that have had confidence, see familiar faces that we've gone to over and over in Destiny 1, and how their characters are the same, but they've changed in a way. And that's, in a way, has made our universe a lot more robust and thick, and to me, real. Because, I mean, I think that's when you actually see humanity, is when you have to face loss. Many of us haven't faced loss, like in our own personal lives, in a big way. So we wanted to make sure that we tried to do that. But I think when you do meet someone that's gone through something personal like that, you get to see a different side of them that you haven't seen before.
Our NPCs are all struggling with the same thing. Zavala is going to struggle with what it means to be a guardian. Akora is going to struggle with what it means to be a guardian.
beast.
Cade is going to struggle with what it means to be a guardian.
Cade is my
Each
mom's
one of them
favorite,
have
Nathan Fillion.
something about them and their connection to the light that we have taken away that they ultimately have to learn how to fill and overcome.
I think if we were to address how the story is different for D2 compared to D1, you know, D1 in a way was foundational. It was meant to set up the world, ask a lot of questions, not necessarily deliver too many answers, you know, but leave enough out there for us to build upon. Like we were talking about the DLCs that came up following it. We would continuously focus on more of those stories that would take us further in the world and learn more about the characters that make that world possible. But what's interesting about D2 is we didn't talk about the Traveler since D1. All of our DLCs pretty much didn't deal with the Traveler. Nothing was focused on that, and now we're back to talk about the Traveler and point our sights on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's important to really understand that, you know, this studio spent a lot of time world building.
And monies.
And I can't emphasize enough that we are now ready to tell stories in this world.
Thank God.
Big, expansive.
Give us all the
cinematic
stories. Just
We certainly
bathe
learned
us
a
in
lot
story.
by listening to people, by playing it with other people, by exploring the world ourselves in a much more one-to-one manner with our audience. And as we explored it, we found stories that we wanted to tell. We found stories. We found that other people really liked certain characters. We found that other people really gravitated towards a combatant or to a world.
Cade, is that gun that Cade has is so
storyline
freaking
that
awesome.
we hadn't
The
realized
spade
was
on
going to be
it.
as strong
Oh,
as it
love
was
it.
when we put D1 out there. And the fun thing about that is that we've got this great team of writers. We have this great team at Bungie that is consistently looking at that and finding ways to take those interesting ideas and build upon them and then present them.
Ooh,
as
Captain
we move
America
forward.
shield
And I think
guy.
we're doing that a lot in D2. We're
That's what
learning
I'm gonna
from
call him,
listening
Captain
to
America
all
shield
the
guy.
feedback we got on D1, and we're applying it.
If the light can find its way back to you,
Man, lightning in the
Perhaps
background
there's
is
hope
so
for us all.
sweet.
Motivating the player comes down to relatable character motivations. If I can, like I was saying before, if I can hook into Gaul, or in the case of Zavala, Cora, and Cade, if I can understand the conflicts that they have,
Gaul is one
and I can
scary
map
looking dude.
my
Like, he's got a whole Darth
goals
Vader
onto their
look
goals,
to him, too.
I am motivated through that story mapped onto them.
It's a great variety. I really think D2 or Destiny 2 is, I mean, it's certainly the best of our teams. And it sounds cliche. You always expect that, but I really truly think that everyone here at Bungie did the best work that they've done for Destiny 2.
I think players are ultimately going to see a wide variety of story channels, an eclectic number of outlets to see story infused throughout the game. Top to bottom, soup to nuts. There is story.
Soup to nuts.
I hope people complain
Always
about
loved
how much
that
story we have
phrase.
at the end of this.
Actually, that would be kind of awesome.
Yeah. That'd be the Reddit thread I'd like to read. Too much damn story.
Enough with the story. I can't take it anymore. The story is overwhelming me. Oh my dear God, the environments are so lush and beautiful. I do wish that you could explore them and, you know, just go anywhere and everywhere. That there was no walls, none of that shenanigans.
Thanks for watching this
Bam!
IGN First on
That dude
Destiny
got lit
2.
up. You see
If
this
you
guy
liked
at the
it-
end?
Thanks for
Bam!
watching this-
Got lit up right there at the end. Boom!
Thanks for watching this IGN First on Destiny 2.
That guy got lit up so hard. Where's my boy Gaul at? Where was he at? He was beast mode when he just dropped this guy. God, Gaul is so amazing, so badass. So I saw your comment, Brett. I don't know if you're still in the chat, but it seems like Anthem is stealing some of Destiny's momentum. Of course, Anthem won't be out until next year, so maybe that doesn't matter. I will agree that Anthem most certainly stole a little bit of thunder from Destiny 2 because you see Anthem, very similar visual aesthetic, almost it seemed to me like identical armor that the characters in Anthem wore, and yeah, first-person shooter with like RPG elements, maybe some MMO elements thrown in there as well. Don't know a whole lot about Anthem yet, other than what we saw in the trailer. I just watched the trailer and then I kind of put it out of my mind as far as wanting to know more about it because it doesn't come out until at the earliest fall 2018. But I can see the comparisons there, no doubt about it. I can definitely see those comparisons. But I don't know. I'm still like super hyped about Destiny 2. The thing with Anthem versus Destiny 2 is Anthem does look like you can explore kind of it. They've made it appear that you can explore anywhere and everywhere. I have a feeling that that's not going to be the case, and you're going to be constricted, down a corridor path, similar to how you are in Destiny, which I'm okay with. I don't always need like this just expansive open world environment like I get in Zelda Breath of the Wild, where it feels like I can go anywhere and everywhere. I mean, I see a giant ass mountain in Zelda Breath of the Wild, I can go climb up it as long as Link can make it up there. He's not dying and everything. So I don't always need that. It does, Anthem shows promise, but I think I don't know if it really ultimately matters because Anthem comes out at the earliest fall 2018. I agree with you, Andrew, that it may get pushed into early like spring 2019. I could totally see that happening. Anthem's been in development for 5 years, so it's not like this is a game that's only been in development for a few years. They showed some assets off at E3 to get people hyped. No, it's been in development for a long ass time. Basically, they started the development for Anthem right after Mass Effect 3 ended, and they kind of had split teams pair off. One team did Andromeda, and one team did Anthem. So it's been in development for a long time. It's just a matter of, can they meet those expectations now? Because I think they created some lofty expectations for Anthem. That's for sure. I kind of agree with you guys that 2019 might be when Anthem comes out. Destiny 2 will be at that point almost a year and a half into its life cycle. We'll have gotten at least 2, probably 3 DLCs. Probably I think at minimum 3 DLCs before Anthem comes out. And just I don't know, everything about what they're saying about Destiny 2 just intrigues me so much. I agree with you, Yukir, that it's hard to have a huge open world sometimes, harder to know where to go next. No doubt about it. Sometimes linear is okay. So many video game developers, publishers, they act like linearity is a naughty word. It's not. It's really not. It's nice sometimes for a game to guide you down a path, and you're taking in whatever that path leads to. It is about the journey in those linear games just as much as it's about the journey in these open world adventures. So, and so one of the things that does intrigue me quite a bit is what one of the guys said at the very end. I hope people complain about how much story we have in Destiny 2. Bring it on. I can't wait for that. That's going to be glorious. To have that much story, that's what I want. I just want to have endless and abundant amounts of story. I can't wait, honestly. Like, even though Destiny, the base version that came out, even though that story was very vanilla, like, after watching all these things about Destiny 2, I really want to jump back in. So, Yuck Your DJ, Yuck Your Ditzy, whatever. I can figure what Yuck Your Daisy. I can't remember your name, even though it's right there. We need to jump in there. Oh, you are still here, Brett. Good to see you here. Yeah, and not everything needs to be open world all the time. So, it's it is funny that you say that, Andrew. That it is our fault that there's a lot of open world games. It's our fault, and it's Rockstar's fault. And I say that with in the most respect to Rockstar. Whenever you make games like Grand Theft Auto, the entire industry wants to replicate and duplicate that because they just make so much money with those Rockstar games, with those Grand Theft Auto, those gigantic open world, do anything in these worlds, adventure games. And so everybody else, they're like, oh shit, we want to be Rockstar. And that was the thing. Whenever Rockstar became Rockstar, everybody else wanted to bite off a piece of that and get some of those sales as well. It's just, unfortunately, a lot of big, expansive open world games were created that were open world, but the emptiest open worlds we've ever played before. And it's just like, you feel like there's not a lot of liveliness in those open world adventure games. That there's just kind of a lot of empty spaces, even though you can go anywhere and everywhere. And the level of simulation, and by simulation I mean making it feel like you're in this new real world environment, was kind of not there in a lot of those open world games that we've seen in the PS4 and Xbox One generation. There's been a lot of badass ones, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of them. But even in Zelda Breath of the Wild, I love it so much. But, it's just a lot of the same thing over and over again. Still love it, but it, if I didn't love the exploration, I guess, I don't know what it is about Zelda, because it is kind of a sparse and empty world at times. It feels that way. You run into a lot of random travelers walking around and stuff, but there's lots of just emptiness in Zelda Breath of the Wild. But I still love it. That's not to say that there hasn't been a lot of like GTA clones that have just struck out big time. But it is funny that you talk about the open world games, and that's like our fault. And 2019 is when the PS5 is supposed to be announced. I did want to talk about really quickly the PS5 and a story on PlayStation Universe. It said PS5 will be more powerful than Xbox One X. Sony is locked in a teraflops race. This is an article that's been, I guess, floating about and around. It said the PlayStation 5 will boast more teraflops than Microsoft's upcoming Xbox One, claims Michael Pagner, an analyst with Wedbush Morgan Securities. I love that these analysts are like breaking down PlayStation and Xbox stuff. It warms my heart so that people are doing this. So it said, speaking with Gaming Bolt, that dude, Pagner, reiterated that PS5 will launch around 2019 when 4K adoption becomes more widespread, and that Sony will be firmly locked in a teraflops race with Microsoft with its next generation home console. Because Xbox One X, as we know, it's going to have 6 teraflops of whatever that means. And this was the official quote. By the time... Oh, it's the same thing. I don't know why they said it here, and then they put the quote, and it's like the exact same thing. So I agree with this article that I do feel like 2019 is going to be the year that the PS5 is announced. And I think, hopefully they go with way more teraflops than whatever Xbox One X has, because that Xbox One X is not Microsoft's true next generation console according to them. Like, that's not Xbox One X 2 or Xbox One 2. Jesus, can they stop with the names, Microsoft? Can you stop with the names? Let me just play this again, even though I think it might be a commercial here in a second. I gotta have some music in the background. So they are talking about, it says, while the PS5 is obviously expected to boast some impressive graphical horsepower, some developers believe they can achieve photorealistic visuals with the current generation of hardware. With the PS4 turning 4 years old this November, there's still ample time for studios to squeeze more power out of the systems. The PS3 was pushed to its limits 7 years into its life cycle with games like The Last of Us, so there's plenty of opportunity for pushing visual boundaries. Keyword, visual boundaries. And this is the thing that I thought was interesting when we were talking about like these open world games and like how that's just like been pushed more and more down our throat. Like Assassin's Creed Origins is coming out later this year. Super Mario Odyssey is coming out later this year. I don't remember what else is coming out later this year. I know Middle-earth Shadow of War is coming out, and that's, I guess you could say that's an open world. Yeah, I guess it's an open world game. I didn't feel like that because I felt like there was so many things to do, but maybe if I compared Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, maybe a good comparison would be to Zelda Breath of the Wild, sort of, because like they have those same tower elements. And even in Far Cry, you have all the tower elements, and that's what they have in Breath of the Wild. They're just a little bit cutesier, and not as many enemies that you have to take out. But I don't know. I digress. I'm kind of going all over the place with that. But the main thing I wanted to talk about this PS5 is, do we need it already? I don't know. I really love my PS4, and like they're saying, the fact that The Last of Us came 7 years into the PS3's console life cycle, it's kind of crazy to think that, in a couple of years, 2 years from now, we'd already be jumping over to a PS5. A little bit crazy. But I saw like another article that I thought was interesting that's kind of cool to think about. This is a long, lengthy-ass article, and I will not try to decipher it, and I will not read it all, because a lot of it is like stuff that I don't understand. But basically, I'll break it down like this, and if you guys want to check it out, it's a Eurogamer article, and the title you can see right there, in theory, is AMD's Ryzen CPU, the game changer for next-generation consoles. So the PS5, the Xbox One, two, the whatever the hell. So you think it's the perfect time, Andrew, for consoles? It could be. And when I read this article, this was my reasoning behind why I believe you as well, and why I feel the same way as you, Andrew, that it is the perfect time for new consoles. Because more or less what happened was, so the Xbox 360, and this is the Cliff Notes of this article. The Xbox 360 and the PS3 came out, and they were like light years ahead of what PS2 and the original Xbox delivered to us in terms of graphical prowess, in terms of memory, all that kind of stuff. It was an intense upgrade. So compared to what we got with Xbox, the original Xbox and the PS2, and also with that, with the Xbox 360 and the PS3. We started to notice like how many NPCs could be on the same and like the screen at the same time. Like you would go into worlds like in Assassin's Creed and they were super lively. You're like, oh my god, this is incredible! Like things that your PS2 could never do. Have cities that were bustling. Like Grand Theft Auto. Think about the cities that we saw in Grand Theft Auto on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. They were amazing. Like it was blow your mind type amazing. Like almost the equivalent of like when the Super Nintendo went to the Nintendo 64 and just the generational leap that you got there. It was fantastic. So whenever we had the leap from PS3 to PS4 and Xbox 360 to Xbox One, the graphics do look better, but it wasn't that leap that we kind of all thought it would be. The worlds to me are not any more livelier in Grand Theft Auto 5 compared to Grand Theft Auto 4. And, you can look at other games as well. But that's kind of what this article is discussing, is that this Ryzen CPU technology will allow for worlds to feel more of this immersive simulation, to where we do feel like the cities that we come upon are more lively. That to give us that same feeling that Grand Theft Auto 4 gave us with the PS3 and the Xbox 360. It's a very interesting article. I mean, like some of the what they focus on in this is like basically simulation versus graphics. You know, the graphics for Xbox One X are going to be pretty as hell. The graphics for the PS5, if it has more teraflops, whatever, they're going to be gorgeous as well. But are they focusing on that simulation, the you know, creating these worlds that are lush and full of people and vibrant and you can have the conversations with anybody and everybody. This could be really cool. Like I would highly recommend you guys checking this out. Again, I'm giving you the poor man's version of what this article says. Again, I mean, you see it. It's super. It's a pretty lengthy article, but it is really, really cool. It talks about like just what this Ryzen CPU technology can do for the next generation of consoles, and how the current gen PS4 and Xbox One, they weren't really created in order to take the most advantage of games like Assassin's Creed Origins, the game that's coming out later this fall. So we'll see. I'm excited for the idea of a PS5. I'm excited for the idea of a Xbox One X2, whatever the hell they want to call it. So I'm with you though, Brett. I am still super happy with my PS4. I can wait a few years for PS5. I don't need it right now. If it comes, that's cool. Hopefully it's $399 again, like the PS4 was. That was a welcome treat. So, and I agree with you too, Andrew. Like when the PS3 towards the end of its console life cycle, yeah, you weren't. I don't know. The PS3 towards the end of its life cycle got a lot of really freaking good games. I don't know. It got a lot of awesome games towards the end. But we knew that it was time. I mean, those consoles lasted a hell of a long time. 5 years is the typical console life cycle, and it'll be about 5 years, 5-6 years in 2019. Yeah, the PS4 came out in 2013. Xbox One the same time. So yeah, that's a good 6 years. Could be time for new consoles at that point. So, and if it is backwards compatible, like they're saying, what you're saying as well, Andrew, super jazzed about that. Can't stress that enough. Make your systems backwards compatible, please, God. I wish that my Switch, I could play more games on my Switch, even though Zelda's plenty enough for me right now. I won't beat that for a long time, because I just play it like in the bed before I go to sleep, and you know, of course, in the toilet. But yeah, I wish I could play some of those older games that came out for the Wii, the Nintendo 64. Like, yeah. I mean, obviously that's way far backwards compatible. I just wish they had a store where I could buy them and play them. That would be good enough for me. All right, last news story of the day is a new game that just came out yesterday, Black the Fall. It's a game. It's from Sand Sailor Studio. That's who developed the game, and the publisher is Square Enix Holdings. And according to their website, it is... Well, this is what they have to say about the plot right here. The toilet, yes, the toilet is hours and hours of gameplay. You are completely correct about that, especially yesterday. When you I honestly didn't feel like it sucked being sick yesterday, and of course I still feel kind of crappy today too. Crappy. But I had my Switch. And getting the stomach flu with the Switch is almost like a godsend, because then nobody can talk shit about you playing games for hours and hours and hours, because you're kind of hidden away. So yeah, so it wasn't that bad for me yesterday, but I would prefer to feel better today, even though it did give me ample time to play Zelda Breath of the Wild. So Black the Fall, again, it's a game. It's out right now for the PS4, the Xbox One, and it's on Steam. After decades of toil, an old machinist plots his escape from the oppressive grasp of the communist regime. Through hidden passages, shadow and grief, he struggles. Ingenuity, reflexes, and deception are his tools. Along the road, he befriends, put that in quotation, befriends the most unlikely creature, an abandoned little robot. Oh, actually, the little robot is cute as hell. Could they escape this bleak and deadly world together? You will find out in Black the Fall. So yeah, let's check out. I think this is the launch trailer right here that I want to share with you guys. This game looks interesting. It reminds me of Inside and Limbo, and a lot of that similar style, similar vein of games. And it's, it takes place in Mother Russia, which I love. I need some vodka right now. All right, so let's check this out really quickly. Pause on that. I did indeed.
Rated T for teen.
Those look like the robots from RoboCop. There's the cute and cuddly robot dog that you know's gonna die. Freedom is control. Yeah, that game looked rad. I think that game looks actually really cool. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. Definitely looks super cool. Yeah, so it's an atmospheric adventure game. Obviously, it's a 2D, possibly 2.5D platformer style in the same vein, like I said, as Inside or Limbo. Same graphic style where it's very dark, and then you get little sprinkles of light spread throughout the maps. That obviously that means like you need to go that way, or as your character comes onto the screen, it's the lights focused more on your character. It looks really cool. The thing I've heard a lot of good things about the game. It's gotten relatively good reviews. But if we go here to like just the PlayStation Store. So it's $14.99. Not bad. It's better than your typical lately your indie games that come out are right around $19.99. It feels like. I guess maybe $14.99 maybe standard as well. But I think this game looks really cool. Obviously, it's going to have a puzzle element similar to again Inside or Limbo. My biggest thing with this game, and when I've looked at reviews and everything. The biggest problem and hurdle is that, unfortunately for indie games, they all go on these major sales. Steam has these major Steam sales, the PlayStation Store, the Xbox Store. They all have these major sales, and I can see this game being like $3.99 down the road. And so it hurts me to shell out $14.99 right now, even though I really would like to play this. I think this looks really cool, and I've heard some of the story elements are very unique and interesting because, you befriend the cute as hell spider robot dog, and that's like your best friend, of course. Dogs are the coolest. But apparently, slight spoiler alert, I don't know how big of a spoiler alert this is, but apparently you befriend people in the game in order to try and escape, but you more or less, give them over to this regime and they are slaughtered, which is a really cool and interesting gameplay dynamic for you. In order for you to get out and escape, you've got to sacrifice these other people that are just toiling away in this horrible oppressive regime and everything. So I don't know, I think it looks really cool, but again, I think at this point I'm gonna wait for a sale on Black the Fall, but it does look really cool. I hope it does well. I mean, here on the PlayStation Store, you see already it's got 3 5-star ratings, which is really neat. So yeah, wanted you guys to check out Black the Fall. Maybe you're interested in it. Again, if you love those Inside, Limbo, Dead by no, there's another one. There's like a zombie one. I forget the name of it. Oh man, I've got it on my PlayStation 4. Deadlight or something like that. I don't know. Similar vein as those games. But Andrew, no, I did not watch the Oat Studio thing yet. I have not checked it out, but I will. Last thing I'm gonna leave you guys with is today is like National Net Neutrality Day. Net neutrality, it blows. We don't want the government. We don't want them. We don't want Comcast, Verizon, and AT&T. These bastards to do this. We don't want them to do this. If you don't know anything about net neutrality, this is a great site, battleforthenet.com. And here's a quick and down and dirty definition. Net neutrality is the principle that internet providers like Comcast and Verizon should not control what we see and do online. It says, in 2015, startups, internet freedom groups, and 3.7 million commenters won strong net neutrality rules from the U.S. Federal Communications Commission, the FCC. The rules prohibit internet providers from blocking, throttling, and paid prioritization, which equal fast lanes for sites that pay and slow lanes for everyone else. So, more or less, net neutrality will, if the FCC allows Comcast and Verizon and AT&T, all these big companies that provide internet to us, if this ever gets passed and allows to go through, actually, who knows what will happen, but more or less, we love Mixer, we love Twitch, we love YouTube. I love watching videos, but say if YouTube, has a lot of controversial videos that come out about AT&T or Verizon, those companies could choose. I think it's illegal, but apparently the laws will allow them to do this type of stuff. They can say, oh, we're going to throttle the speeds on YouTube, where it's not going to run as fast as it typically does. So everybody hates that thing where it comes up and it says, loading, those loading screens, and this just does this the whole time. Everybody fucking hates that. That's the worst. When you're watching Twitch streamers and the chat just doesn't load your chats and everything, everybody hates that. We don't want that. So today, lots of companies are they're grouping together to make this, to make our voices known, to make our voices heard. The fact that we just do not want that, we don't want this to pass. This can't happen. I agree with you, Andrew. Nobody wants this, but it's surprising that it just it just keeps coming back up. 2015 wasn't that long ago, and it's just like shit. We've got to do this again. We got to keep doing this. So yeah, on July 12th, 2017, today, thousands of us are protesting to defend internet freedom. This is just some of the companies. Discord, lots of people love Discord, Reddit, Vimeo, Twitter. I know Twitch is definitely doing it as well. Netflix. We don't want our speeds throttled. We don't want to have to pay more to, we already pay enough for fast speeds internet. So, but we don't want to have to pay more all of a sudden because, the AT&T decided to throttle YouTube because YouTube decided that they didn't want to pay as much to have faster internet speed connections. Again, I'm giving you guys the poor man's version of net neutrality. Definitely go check out battleforthenet.com. I think that it's just asinine that companies will be allowed to do this. I think it's just complete bullshit that the FCC will more or less be allowing types of things like this. I'm a big Howard Stern fan, but the FCC will go after Howard Stern and say that he's trying to create some monopoly on satellite radio with Sirius. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, satellite radio, their stock is poop. And they tried to go after Howard Stern when he went to Sirius satellite radio. So like FCC, I don't know what you're doing most of the time, but it seems like you're fucking up, because I don't know why you would. Who cares about a satellite radio monopoly all that much? I mean, granted, some of these other companies, I'm sure, think otherwise, but Sirius and XM are basically the only satellite radio companies that I know of, and I just thought it was complete and utter crap that they would try to do that type of stuff. But then they'll allow AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, Time Warner Cable, some of the biggest bastards I know. Man, if you've ever had Time Warner Cable, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, thank you, Yuckier. And yeah, Brett, yeah, the current makeup of the FCC, they don't really seem to care what the people want. You're completely right about that. And yes, our voices will be heard. They're hearing it right now. Maybe not, they need to hear it. And so I know today I saw on Mixer lots of people were not streaming today on Mixer because it's like, what if one day this passes with the FCC and Twitch or YouTube or Mixer or whatever, they're like, well, we only have enough bandwidth for X number of streamers to come on. And so if you don't get pre-approved or approved some way, I'm sorry, but we don't have the capacity for X number of additional streamers to come on. So we got to cap it off at this. I know that these are like the gloom and doom scenarios, but I feel like that they should be put out there because it's complete BS. I like the way things are right now. We don't get our speeds. Well, we do get our speeds throttled already. They put that in like fine print and everything. So, but want to leave you guys with that. Battleforthenet.com. Go check it out. Let your voice be heard. And let's shut these suckers down, FCC. And that's it for the show today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm sorry, even though I was sick. Hopefully you guys still had fun. I had fun talking to you guys about all the things. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something fun in the near future, and hopefully I get Yucky or Daisy's help on it. But I want to do a console battle. We were talking about the PS5 and its graphical power and all that jazz and shenanigans. But I want to have something where it's like a March Madness style, which if you've never watched NCAA March Madness, it's like one of the greatest sporting events of all time. The teams, they come together. It's like 65 teams, maybe more now. And they get different seedings, different rankings. They play one another. It's one lot, you lose, you're out. I would love to do that with consoles. So I really want to do that in the future, have a console March Madness style event where we pit, like PS3 versus PS1 or Xbox 360 versus the Super NES, like that type of stuff. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I'm still fleshing out the ideas of how to do it, but I think it'd be really fun and interesting, and I would love for you guys to to vote once we've got the two combatants against each other. Then have you guys vote on who would win, and it's going to be based on like the games that come out for those systems and number of systems sold, that kind of stuff. But I think it would be a lot of fun, and you would have similar rankings to where you've got an underdog, because basically the seedings I think are going to go by number of consoles sold. So like the Sega Dreamcast didn't sell shit. Like it was a terrible seller, but it's one of the most beloved systems of all time. So it could say it could be ranked number 16 and a number 1 seed could be the Xbox 360 because it sold like millions and millions of units and everything. So you've got the 16 seed Dreamcast versus number 1 seed Xbox 360. They battle it out and we see who wins. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Thanks, Brett. I think it could be cool. It could be cool. I'll continue to flesh it out, but I wanted to let you guys know that that's something that's going to be coming in the future. I would like to do it on a live stream, but I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. So more to come on that. But yes, I hope Yucky or Daisy does join me on the Video Games and Tea in the future. Again, the plan for this show is right now I'm just doing it because I love talking to you guys about video games. But the ultimate plan is for us, Ditzy DJ, Yucky or Daisy, Moms, and I to have a morning show or a daily game show as well, where we do this kind of stuff. So should be a lot of fun. Yeah, you can compete with those. You've got quite a few systems now. You are a systems hoarder now at this point, Yuckier. And yeah, I think games versus games could be cool too. I like the way that the Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, they have that that ranking system, the power rankings, and who's moving up and down in the power rankings. I think that could be a lot of fun. So, all right, well I'm gonna go try to get better. My tea's all gone. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Osapeda, I saw you earlier. I don't know if you're still in the chat, but you have fun the rest of the day. Good luck with fixing your issues with the Elgato. I hope that it works with going back and uninstalling the Windows and everything. So thanks again, you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Hopefully we'll be streaming some games at some point this week. So, all right. Bye, everybody.